Hello and welcome back to the When Should I Pick X Character support series, and today we are going to be doing Lucio because a lot of you guys have been actually asking for the main supports besides just my flex support ones, which were Ana, Bap, Zenyatta, and Moira that I've covered so far. So if you are looking for those, they are pretty recent, so you shouldn't have too much trouble finding them. But a lot of you guys have been asking main support stuff, and besides that, I just wanted to address something. While a lot of my thought into these lists go into where I believe Overwatch should be in terms of like if you're playing at your maximum level, this is who synergizes with who. I understand that at medal ranks it could be a little bit different. Your opinions could be different. What I want to say to that is that most of this is once you get out of those ranks, this is what you will see. And if you are pursuing improvement, you should see that this is kind of how it's going to lean towards when you get there. Obviously, there's a lot of different situations, and ranks are different. So, obviously, if I'm saying I'm Lucio, and like Moira and Bap are the best, maybe you want to run Ana for the Hog. There's a lot of different things that can go on. There's a lot of different ways to solve different problems. I'm just giving you the most efficient ways to solve problems, or the most efficient characters to play with other characters, given the fact that they're playing at a reasonably decent level. So obviously medal ranks are a little bit different, but you should always be striving for improvement, and improvement is also thinking out of the box and on the fly. But this is kind of stuff that maybe you might not be used to seeing. So hopefully today with Lucio, I can kind of help you guys understand when you should be picking this character and how we should go about that. Now, something I want to add before we actually start saying what Lucio is good at is maybe I want to talk to you guys what Lucio is good at in ladder. The thing is with Lucio is he's a very good team player, but the thing is he can also do very, very well at killing flankers, or not killing flankers, killing like snipers and flanking to kill hit scan. He's still very aggressive. So that's something that's definitely going to be factored. Just make sure that you factor that into your play. I'm still going to tell you guys kind of what I'm thinking with each and every character as we go, but just keep in mind that Lucio is not just a team speed bot or a team heal bot. He is also a damage flanker if you need to make that work. I mean, look at Red Shell. I mean, do I need to say more? I mean, this playstyle works, you know? But yeah, let's get right into it. I've been stalling a little bit, and let's start off with Ana. So Lucio Ana, the synergy is decent. I don't think it's fantastic. I think it's been very good in the past, but there are just better synergies with Lucio. And the reason why I'm saying this is because before, when Ana Lucio was the main comp to pick, you didn't have Moira and you didn't have Bap. And those characters just do generally better than Ana does in faster comps like Brawl, like Dive, in specific types of Dive. And you saw that with Ana Brig. Ana Brig is much more viable than Ana Lucio. Not saying that Ana Lucio is bad, it's just that Ana Brig is better because of what that character is really defined as right now. Ana's not a very fast character. That being said, I still think she's kind of middle of the pack B tier. Because like Ana Lucio isn't bad by any means. Like the two characters can still work well together. The synergy just isn't as great as it was before because Ana doesn't want to play fast anymore. She generally wants to play slower and a lot more coordinated with her team. Yada, yada, yada. I digress. Ashe. I'm not really sure about Ashe. Honestly, like straight off the bat, I kind of want to put her D tier because any hit scan that kind of just wants to spam, Lucio doesn't really help them out much. Like, especially with Ashe, there's really not a whole lot that you want to... There's not a whole lot of places you need to be with Ashe that you can't just walk to, or that you wouldn't get more value out of a Mercy or a Zenyatta. So I'm going to start with Ashe high D tier. I might move her up to C tier just because maybe you speed boost after you dynamite as a team. But generally, I'm not thinking that Ashe is that great. Bap, on the other hand, I think I'm going to put him S tier. I might put him A tier. It's just the fact that Bap is really strong. I think the synergy between them, though, makes Bap A tier. And that might be a little bit different, because the thing is, Bap can also utilize... The thing is with Bap is that he has everything but horizontal mobility. He has very good vertical mobility, very good survivability in that sense with his regen burst as well, good healing, everything that you could ask for. And then Lucio can also buff that AoE healing even more, and speed boost with the brawl lets Bap move very quickly. I'm thinking it's going to be borderline like top A tier, low S tier. I think that's kind of what we're looking at right now. But I'm not quite sure. It's just that their kits aren't like directly synergistic towards each other, but Bap works very well with Brawl, and Lucio can capitalize upon that, making Bap Lucio a very, very strong combo. Because the thing is while if Bap was a little bit weaker, I think the synergy would shine a bit more aggressively. Like it would be much more obvious that these two characters synergize, because if he didn't have all the great stuff he has, I think Lucio would kind of make up for that. Right now, it just kind of makes Bap better, and it's just like, why are we still having Bap in such a strong state? And again, it might be different upon ranks, so that's just my personal opinion. Let me know in the comments down below if you think something different, and let's move on to Bastion. Bastion wants to stay still. The thing is, you could argue that you maybe want a speed boost to like speed a Bastion to a different angle. Maybe you could argue that. More like almost more so that you would have it better than Ashe, but like Ashe kind of would need more angles than a Bastion would. I just think Lucio Bastion, it just doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. I mean, like how many times are you gonna rotate a Bastion and you need a Lucio? There are just better characters to run with Bastion, and that's that. Brigitte, I don't know if I want to quite put her. I don't know if I want to quite put her D tier. The thing is with Brigitte, I think I want to put her top D tier, low C tier. Brig Lucio was run in the past in very, very high level scrims. It was experimental at the time, and the whole idea is that Brig can get close, and she had a lot more healing back in the day because she wasn't nerfed to where she is now. So it was much easier to do that. And the thing is with Brig is she wants to kind of play defensive and close so that she can proc Inspire a lot, so that she doesn't have to be too aggressive to actually get her Inspire to proc. Lucio can help her with that. I wouldn't want to run a Brig Lucio, but I'd rather run a Brig Lucio in the current meta than like... You know, I might go back on that. I mean, Brig Lucio right now, this isn't enough sustain, unless the team's very strong. The thing is with Lucio with other supports is that it's more so... Lucio does very well with tanks and DPS, I think, and enabling them more so than they do supports. We'll get into that later, though. I think I'm going to keep Brig where she is now. I might move her back down. I'm not sure. Mercy. While these characters don't necessarily synergize... Okay, I'm actually going to move Brig down. Well, maybe not. These are kind of like the same. I might put Mercy D tier. Here's the thing, right? While Mercy and Lucio don't necessarily synergize, because most of the characters that Mercy wants to play in want to be very spammy so that she can utilize her damage boost. The thing is, Lucio Mercy comps were used recently in contenders, and I don't know if it was used in Overwatch. I might be wrong about this. The reason why Lucio was picked, though, was because Zenyatta didn't have great survivability, while Lucio does. So then the Mercy doesn't have to worry about Lucio dying. That's like the whole idea behind it. Their kits don't necessarily synergize together well. Like if I see a Mercy on my team, I probably don't want to be running a Lucio. I probably want to be running a Zen, an Ana, a Baptiste, a Moira, something flex support. I mean Brig as well, kind of like it's a little iffy, but I think Brig synergizes with Lucio a little bit better in terms of synergy. In practicality, both of these characters, I mean, these are like very bottom food chain characters in this scenario. I have a call. Call from a friend. Okay. Moving on. Doomfist. Now, Doomfist you would think would do very, very well with a Lucio. Doomfist Lucio you think would be really strong. I want to argue not as strong as people may think. The reason why is that Doom already has all the mobility he needs. He doesn't necessarily need more. Almost I might put him bottom A tier, top B tier. Because I still think with the comp that Doom is strong, like the comps that Doom can work well with, I think Lucio is almost required. I don't think it's directly synergizing with the Doomfist though. I think like Brig almost synergizes better with Doom because you can pack him before he goes in. So I don't think it's quite S tier because he already has the mobility that he needs. For a character like Reaper, we're just going to segue this now. Like Reaper doesn't have that horizontal mobility to the extent that Doomfist does. Therefore, Lucio and Reaper are very strong together because Lucio can pretty much destroy Reaper's big weakness of not being able to close the distance, and that's what he wants to do. So you can, if Reaper wants to close the distance to do his damage, the character that lets him do that, they synergize well together. It's that simple. It's not something crazy. And I feel like that's a little bit better to connect the dots here. With Doom, it's more so the fact that he needs to stay alive long enough to get the kill and then get out. And I think Brig on a Moira to heal before he engages do a little bit better of the synergies there than Lucio does. It's kind of the same dilemma as D.Va here. I think that speed boost, because that's the main thing that Lucio provides here. We're looking at speed boost really, and who can utilize that, because that's really the only thing that makes Lucio stand out as a support. The thing is with D.Va, she does have the horizontal mobility. The problem is that like D.Va can save her cooldowns then for later. Meanwhile, Doomfist, you probably don't want to be walking in. You just want to be punching and like doing stuff on your side. You don't want to really be utilizing speed boost as much as a D.Va would. Like jets and all that, like still D.Va doesn't really get the most out of Lucio, I guess, in that sense. The thing is that she can still have those jets to capitalize further after the speed amp has been utilized. Meanwhile, Doomfist wants to be in already while the speed boost is getting utilized. I hope that makes sense. If you have any questions, just let me know, and I will be sure to answer them if you tell me in the YouTube comments. Genji. Genji. I think it's decent. I think it's a solid B tier. I just don't think it's much better because dash resets are really the mobility that he needs. I think that in that sense, Genji's much better with Zen than he is with Lucio. The thing is with Lucio, Lucio does not hinder Genji. Genji still wants to be fast and in the enemy's face. So he's already a step ahead out of a lot of other characters that are going to be put in C and D tier. I just want to put that out of the way. Like, it's not a hindrance. Like, to a character like Widowmaker, Lucio is pretty much a hindrance because the Lucio doesn't help the Widow at all. Meanwhile, Genji, he doesn't have to use the dash to get there. It's not awful. It's just like with Genji and Doom, they're kind of in the same boat that they kind of want to be engaging after speed boost with their cooldowns. It's very complicated. The speed boost is nice, but it's more so that the team can follow up rather than the Genji and Doom. And hopefully when we see the characters that are S tier and high A tier, you guys can kind of better understand that. Like, we see a lot of them coming up here shortly. Echo, I'm gonna put I have to put her top D tier. It's just like she's a flyer. She's not getting a lot of Lucio. I might put her like low C tier. I think Echo high D tier is just really, really strong right now. Or not really, really strong. Not strong at all. Sorry. I don't know why I went off at a tangent incorrectly there. The thing is with Echo, she wants to be in the air. The thing is she can also like utilize the speed boost when she copies or like to get to a better position before she starts flying. I just don't think it's good. There are better supports to play with this, like the Mercy, like the Zenyatta, like Diana, that can just better synergize with her. And that's kind of the way that Blizzard made the game, so it works out that way. Hanzo, I think, does a little bit better with rotations than the Ashe does, but it's not much better. Like, Widow's probably going to go right here. It's just like these characters don't really want to rotate. Thing is, Hanzo isn't awful. Almost that I would put it C tier, but I kind of want to keep the snipers together to like drive a point home here. That's like, these characters don't do well with speed boost. Their general playstyle doesn't want to play with the speed. Their general playstyle wants to play with a Zenyatta. Now here's the thing: if 4 out of the 6 characters that your team is playing are the S tier characters, and you still have a Hanzo can still work in brawl comps. Is what I'm trying to say here. Meanwhile, like Ashe and Widow kind of don't. So like I might put Hanzo top or bottom C tier, top D tier, bottom C tier, just because it kind of works better with the comps that Lucio might be played in. But it's just Ashe, Widow, Bastion, Echo. Just not the times to be playing Lucio. Junkrat, though, I think is a little bit better than the Hanzo, because Junkrat, closing the distance with Junkrat can be really good, or if you need to assist your Junkrat with a flank so he doesn't have to use his mines to engage, it could be devastating, more so than a Hanzo. It could be devastating. Maybe this synergy is stronger than I'm actually giving it credit for. I'm just not entirely sure, because I mean, I don't play with Junkrats all the time. Maybe it's better in lower tiers. I'm not sure. Maybe it's a really strong thing that people are struggling to counter with because they just don't want to go Pharmacy or Echo. I'm not sure. Kree. I'm going to put Kree top A tier. Kree struggles with horizontal mobility and just mobility in general. I mean, he still has a role, but it's nothing major. And Kree likes to be played in brawl comps, therefore Kree gets enabled by the Lucio because all of his weaknesses in movement he can get overcome with his speed boost, which is really, really strong. Mei, same thing as Reaper, wants to get close. The more you're freezing, the more you're doing. It's just that simple. Certainly Mei can still be run with other characters. Closing the distance, though, after a big wall is so much easier with the Lucio speed boost than anything else in the game. Moira also does very well because if you can utilize speed boost, you can then mitigate the need to fade as early, which means that you are not going to get forced out as early, which is really, really nice. It's something that you want to make sure that you're not neglecting, and the synergy between these two characters is very strong. When you're playing Moira, you're pretty much always going to be playing Lucio because your whole idea with these two is speed in, heal a lot while speeding so you don't die, kill enemy. It's really that simple. And speeding on a Cole is very strong. Speeding on damage orbs to capitalize on kills is very strong. And I mean, that's just kind of how it is. If you have any questions, let me know. I don't think I need to elaborate on her that much. So yeah, let's keep moving right along. Orisa. I know I'm probably gonna get a lot of shit for this, but like, I think Orisa maybe. It really depends on the meta. I'm going to put her just solid B tier. Sometimes Orisa wants to close distance, sometimes not. Maybe top C tier. Sometimes she wants to close space, sometimes she doesn't. Nowadays she probably doesn't, but that isn't as bad as like Ball with Lucio in terms of synergy. I mean, if she's played in a brawl, like a spam brawl comp, Lucio is definitely strong. I'm going to put her looming around this area. It's just that you have to get out of the mindset of like these characters are just spam characters or just brawl characters, unless they like most definitely are like spam centric heroes. The thing is with Orisa is that the pool can allow for Doomfist to be very aggressive and other characters to be aggressive that can make it more of a hybrid composition. So you have to be on the lookout for characters that are hybrid characters. And really see how those synergies interact in different metas. That could be just a whole other video concept. I could go on for hours and hours and hours about theory like that, but it's just not worth your time. It's more so stuff that you would be worrying about if you were 4.6k, or trying to climb to that place, or scrim at that level. That is very advanced theory that just isn't worth your time. It's basically like, if I see an Orisa, she's not a turn-off, she's not an on switch either, with Lucio. Pharah, very low on the list as well. I put it above the Widow, but not much else. I feel like this is self-explanatory. You could speed the Pharah if she's low on the ground, but she doesn't want to be there. Usually, doesn't want to be there. It's pretty self-explanatory. Again, another one that's coming up, pretty self-explanatory. Ryan wants to close distance. Big angry German man wants to hit people with big angry hammer. Lucio helps him do that, so use Lucio when you see a Ryan. It's just that simple. Maybe Lucio isn't always the pick for the situation. Sometimes you'll want to run on a Brig with a Brawl in metas past. That is then dependent on your DPS. Thing is, Lucio with a Ryan is never a bad choice, to say the least. Lucio with Hog, the thing is with tanks is that none of them are really bad by any means. The thing is, Lucio Hog probably is one of the worst ones, strictly because Hog wants to flank. Sure, Lucio could help Hog flank to make it not D tier, but I don't think it warrants anything above bottom C tier. Because like Lucio would ideally want to be playing with a team or flanking on his own, not with his hog. Therefore, I just don't think the synergy is great there. Sigma balls. I mean, like, Sigma doesn't really want to close distance as much as Orisa would, but it's not like the synergy is bad because double shield brawl comps are still really good. It really depends on where Sigma is being played. I don't think Lucio Sigma is very strong together, but Sigma is strong with other characters like Line and double shield brawl kind of compositions that are E. I think it's better than the Hog. I think it might be better than... I put it top C tier because it's still viable. It's just, if I see a Sigma, it's not immediately like Lucio. It's an easy choice, like a Reinhardt. It'd be much easier to choose that, to choose Lucio when I'm seeing these S and A tier characters. Soldier 76. He kind of wants to flank on his own, but the added healing Lucio can provide and speed boost isn't awful. It doesn't necessarily make his kit shit. That being said, I don't think it's super strong either. I think I'm going to have to put him next to the Hog and the Hanzo here. Probably above Hanzo a little bit. No, because he already has mobility. I'm probably going to just give him... Yeah, because here's the thing. Soldier's going to want to do his own thing, just like Lucio's going to want to do his own thing, but they're going to want to do it separately, not together. Again, it depends on the map, depends on what's going on. These characters aren't necessarily turn off in C tier, they're just not turn on either. I mean, we've been saying that the whole series. I hope you guys understand it at this point. Sombra, I think, is a lot better than people give. I don't think it's quite A tier. I think it's a little bit better than Genji. Because if Sombra hacks something, the speed boost can allow the team to capitalize on that hack. Besides that, I don't think Sombra getting carted around is really anything worth mentioning, or any mobility that she needs. She doesn't need to make up for. It's more so the lack of mobility her team makes up for. I'm actually going to put a top B tier because it's a little bit more viable than Ana is in terms of that synergy. The synergy between Symmetra and Lucio. This one's hard because like Symmetra doesn't necessarily need it because of Teleporter, but Teleporter isn't always the best. I'm honestly going to put Symmetra low A tier. Actually, maybe above Doom. Symmetra needs to close distance after she gets the level 3 beam, and Speed Boost lets her do that. It's almost that I might put her S tier. Honestly, I think I'm going to take the hot take and put her S tier. I think I'm going to put her low S tier. Because realistically, what does Symmetra need? All she needs is speed to capitalize on her level 3 beam. And Lucio lets a character like Symmetra shine. Therefore, I think the synergy is there. I mean, everything that she, like, the rotations taking it even faster than she already makes rotations. I think it shouldn't be scoffed at. I think it should be looked at and definitely understood. The thing is that, like, Lucio can replace Sim and Sim can replace Lucio. It really depends on the scenario. But yeah, let's finish off the last six characters here because we've been going on for a little bit here. Torbjorn kind of goes both ways. I think he's a little bit better than Genji. He doesn't necessarily need the Lucio because he kind of is a very stretched out character. He can play slow, he can play fast. He's very just like not bad with Lucio, not awful with Lucio, not great. But just very good, very solid. That's just kind of how that character works. Tracer, I'm honestly gonna put it low A tier. I don't think it's nearly as good as people think because people associate Lucio with one of two comps, that either being Brawl or either being Dive. I don't think Dive necessarily synergizes with Lucio as much because Dive already has the mobility that they need. Now that Brig exists, you can play a lot slower with Dive. You want to play a lot slower with Dive to set up your backline so that they can live. The Lucio isn't nearly as strong unless it's 6-man Dive, in which the speed boost helps the Sombra, the Tracer, the Diva, the Winston. It's still good. It's not like there's a direct synergy there. They don't really need it. It's just nice to just have that there's even more speed, you know? That being said, I'm still going to put Monkey A tier. I don't know if I'm going to put a higher A tier. I think I might put it a... Nah. The thing with Tracer is that Lucio can heal Tracer's health significantly in a lot less time than Monkey. I just don't think that Monkey necessarily needs the Lucio as much as all of these characters up top need a Lucio. They don't necessarily need it, but it works with their kit much better than a Monkey. What I'm trying to say here is the impact you get with a Lucio Lucio with Winston is very strong, but the impact you get as a Lucio with Reinhardt is stronger. It is the best. And that's something that should really be noted here. Ball. I think Ball is good with Lucio in the sense that you can make it so that the backline doesn't need peel and Ball can play faster. Besides that, it's pretty much a turnoff, and it's not good. It's not great. And that's, I mean, what are you gonna do? Speed Ball around after he hooks? No. The only thing that synergizes here is that Lucio can be a surviving backline in Mercy Lucio compositions, but I don't think that's a synergy. I think that's just how other characters were kind of busted in that meta. Now the last two, Zarya. Honestly, Zarya I'm gonna put above Winston. I honestly might put it above Tracer and Doom as well, and even even D.Va. Because here's the thing, Zarya wants to close distance when her beam is max, and Lucio lets her do that. Thing is, Zarya also wants to play slow with Brig. It can really go both ways here. I just think that a speed boost with Zarya, if she's max charge beam and like making that Zarya like being forced into a backline, it's pretty strong. The synergy's there. Is it as practical as D.Va in the current moment? No. Is the synergy better? Yeah, I'd probably say so. Because it helps her. I mean, then again, these could be two kind of really give or takes. I'm actually probably going to put it below D.Va just because it's not as practical anymore. Because D.Va likes to be run in very fast rush comps or very fast dive comps. Zarya tends to be a little slower nowadays, but back in the day, and still kind of right now, a speed boosted Zarya at max charge is still a very scary Zarya, and her main problem as an off tank is mobility. So Lucio can kind of help her out with that. And last but certainly not least, Zenyatta. These two were very strong back in the day, but Brig has replaced Lucio in a lot of ways within dive and spam compositions. So the synergy isn't great. I still think it's better than Mercy, Ball, and all them. I think I'm gonna put it bottom C tier. It was decent back in the day, but like all he can really do is speed boost a team. I'm gonna put it above Hog. Is speed boost a team onto a Discord to kill faster. That's about it. I mean, what else does he really provide? The peel is just not great. It was mostly just back in the day. There weren't a lot of great options with Zen. Now you have Bap and Brig. You didn't have that back in the day. Now you do. But yeah, this is a very long video so far. I mean, Lucio is just one of those characters that you can talk on and on and on about because a lot of what makes Lucio strong is team play. If your team is very coordinated, Lucio follows. If your team isn't coordinated, Lucio can pick people off. But yeah, if you have any questions, just let me know. Again, this might not be the best for all of your medal rank games, but you're going to see as you improve that this is going to be a lot more definitive. But yeah, I appreciate everyone for watching. If you want any questions answered live, I do stream at twitch.tv/PatsSwagger. But I'm not sure if my stream schedule is going to get changed soon or not because of college. But yeah, I appreciate you all for watching. But until next time, we've got to peace out and Paz out. See you in the next one. Peace.